it's like, oh, well, you know, Enigma, they didn't get what they wanted. They come back towards their side of the map, and we just catch them, which is kind of what they've done here with Mind Control. See if they can get this kill on the Dark Seer. BZM nearby with an Aether Remnant. As long as he lands that, it's first blood secured, and that's exactly what it is. So not only did they read the lineup for that first little potential kill that comes from that lineup from Enigma, but they even countered it, and they did it perfectly.
And he even gets the D-ward, because, you know, patience, we placed the ward first, and we saw them run in, and now Taiga just placed the sentry. He might die for it, maybe? No, very nice stun. He's gonna get away. So we also got the mid ward, which is a big deal, very big deal. This Lion is very rich, you know. First blood plus the ward, like he's already rocking the boots, so living the life.
Yeah, that's one of the things you and Black were talking about. I was spectating this conversation and learning a lot. When you buy boots that early, you gotta have that mindset of, okay, now I've got boots. I can't just run up and because I'm faster and die. You've got to use it, and what's the way that maybe you see Taiga getting that done?
I mean, Taiga's job right now in this game is to make sure they don't shut down Amar, and at the same time, leave him as much XP as he can. It's really the XP race between the Leshrac and the Timber. The Leshrac weakness that he has a Wisp that is not as good as a Lion to, of course, gonna leave the lane, right? Wisp is designed so that he tethers his partner and stays with them. So they're gonna try to force Taiga to... They should try to force Taiga to share... Oh, he might actually be dead here. Really good stun from Miracle.
And landed right on the edge, and Taiga getting down to one shot left, and GH gets that kill. Amar actually took a little bit of damage too on the beginning of that, and if he had gotten hit by that stun, his life might have been in a little bit more danger than it is already. Courier was close, so that'll start to... I think it did deliver his boots over, so it's not like it's in that weird little no man's land. And then we're taking a look up top here and over mid, like, do either of these matchups, the top or the mid, really stand out at you as something that can be a lot of kills?
I think the mid matchup that we're looking at right now, like the Void Spirit versus Puck, it's a very high skill matchup, and I've seen it go both ways. So it seems very even right now if you look at the last hit. So far so good. As top, yeah, this Nyx seems to be in big trouble.
Oh yeah, Kuroki getting slowed down thanks to the help of Misha, but a two-man stun and that Impale might be enough to just walk on away.
Very nice.
Misha doesn't have the impetus.
Very nice kill casting from Kuro. I mean, this was a tough one to get off, but he did very nicely. No entangle, obviously, that comes into play, but yeah, he's gonna live.
So good, able to get away. We've seen Impale and Earth Spike, just multiple heroes every time. Like, these guys are ready with it, and we don't really see Lion too much. He seems to be one of those supports that have kind of fallen out of favor for other ones, but like, if you're OG, what's bringing you that mindset? Like, hey, I can put Lion back into this lineup and make it show its value.
He can be a bit of a weak laner, but when you lane with Timber, you have more freedom to pick the hero that you want, so that's one argument. And also, they saw Puck pretty early. Lion, obviously, you know, a hero that Puck has to really worry about. So does Nyx. Obviously, Carapace is a very hard, you know, spell to work around, but Hex is the best answer, because then you just Hex the Carapace and you can wait out for the stun. So yeah, Nyx and Puck, you think of Lion.
Stun out through on a Miracle, but now Taiga needs to run.
He'll probably die here.
He's got the Hex, but he doesn't have the life, and Miracle gets a kill over in the bottom lane, so he's 1-0-1. This Lion dying a couple times. Obviously, sucks to give away those kills, but he also got that first blood. He got the D-ward, the gold. It's going to stay at where he should be in terms of net worth. The question is, can he kind of keep his life? And at what point does Lion kind of like think, okay, Amar's here. Can he sustain by himself? Can I move around the map? Can I go mid? Maybe top? Try and find some kills with the rest.
Ideally, it would be the level 5 on Timber. I think before level 5, it's a bit hard for him to fully sustain, and Lion's going to keep looking at it. He could decide to leave now, but if he does, he might, like, I mean, now the lane is in a position where he can, but if he leaves too early, I mean, yeah, we see the rune control. Probably Lion's gonna want to join that. We already see, you know, ports are quite busy. You have the Lion on the bottom rune, and you know, these matchups, Puck versus Void Spirit, it's all about the region. It's all about the water runes, about the power runes. So you're gonna see a lot of action around the river. And there you see the pressure, right? It's still a bit early for Timber to be left alone.
Yeah, and they go for the stun actually over mid. Smell had been hit by an Aether Remnant just a moment ago, and they're diving the tower. They want Amar. They won't land the stun. He's got that wand. He heals up a little bit. The Whirling Death. We'll see if he survives this, or if anybody comes over bottom to try and help him out. He gets into the trees. Miracle and GH are on his tail. He's just timber chaining across the lane back and forth. And, well, kind of playing him a little bit.
Yeah, this is an insane amount of pressure, and you don't want to trade too much with this IO, you know, pairings, because they don't use anything for that, right? I mean, you know, the Lion is gonna have to bring Tangos, is gonna have to bring Mangoes. This IO Lesh is just gonna keep sustaining, so you don't want to get baited into trading too much with them, right? You just Amar right now, all he wants is level 5. When level 5 happens, it's gonna get better for him. And you know, Lesh is still a little bit under level. Amar is close to level 5, Lesh is level 4, and it's all about this level 6 timing. I can't emphasize how much it's important. So, but yeah, you see, like, Taiga is kind of forced to be here because they're putting up, you know, so much pressure on this, which is, they're playing this really smart.
Yeah, especially, I mean, saying level 6 is very important. The way to make it sure that they can win that, push Amar out of the lane. Make sure he's uncomfortable.
Okay,
they're going to TP a +1, so BZM coming bottom, he's level 6. If they can catch somebody...
It looks like it's been spotted, right? And this rotation hurts Void Spirit a lot. His bottle's empty, so the second rune is going to be super important. He has no boots. He's really sad right now. Like, this hurts your game a lot. Hopefully he gets a rune and then it's going to make up for it a little bit. But yeah, this also frees up the fuck for his own rotation now. They know that Void Spirit has no TP.
Right.
So
can't react.
Exactly. Let's see, you know, 6-minute rune coming up. We already see, you know, Misha going for the top rune, Taiga on the bottom rune. The Enigma supports are a bit late to the party, so maybe we get... Okay, Void Spirit does get the...
He denied it, yeah. Sumail just got the right click in.
Very well done. 1v3 rune deny, you know, so that's like big impact.
Making sure that you kind of keep that advantage on the lane, and Sumail just definitely showing some prowess here over mid. They drop down the Dream Coil, they've got the Impale coming out from Kuroki, but the Aether at mid lands on Sumail might give BZM a chance to use that jump and get out, and that's exactly what it does. So under that pressure, doesn't panic, just jumps away, doesn't give even more of an advantage. Like you were saying, some of it felt like that bit of an advantage coming over mid, and GH kind of getting pushed away, but like you said, for the IO, it doesn't really mean all too much.
And you see this Darcy, right? He's not having fun. He's level 4, he's really under level. Laundry is level 6. And on bottom, the Timber is level 6 before the Leshrac, so, you know, good job from Taiga, sharing XP properly. And then the pressure, you see it right away, it starts. If Leshrac was level 6 here, it's a double kill, you know? So now there's going to be a lot of pressure going OG's way for a little bit until the Leshrac gets level 6, and then it's just going to start being relieved. Laundry though, he's having like a perfect game.
40 and 20, I was going to mention it, but it feels like we were talking around the map. They're still putting the pressure on a Miracle. He's got to be a little bit careful with Amar just committing to this one, the Rolling Death, and again, Taiga trying to follow it up, trying to find something. Instead, they'll focus their attention onto GH with BZM coming over from the side, so he gets Miracle. Kuroki comes in with an Impale. It'll end up being a 1-for-1 trade, but do they get anything more out of this one? GH under the tower, but that's not home base. That's not safe. So BZM, he'll get the double kill, and they take out GH.
Very nice rotation from BZM. Sumail, unfortunately, had no TP. It just got delivered to him, so he could not react to the dive. And yeah, I mean, big, you know. Again, this Leshrac is still not level 6, so his game has been really crippled. Yeah. This is all about XP split. You know, these details in high-level Dota that can really turn the lane completely. Which
actually goes to fill the bottom of Sumail. I was going to ask, because BZM's now made 2 rotations off the mid lane, but Sumail doesn't feel comfortable enough to do it himself, right? Like, is that because the side lanes aren't going as well? Like you said, Darkseer's only level 4, Leshrac never hit level 6. Do you not just feel the opportunity to try and go and save a lane, or do you just focus on your lane and then when the opportunity finally comes, go?
I mean, to be fair, I feel like Sumail should have been bottom, countering the gank from the Void Spirit. He just had no TP, so maybe we missed that part where he had to waste his TP, and maybe OG had that info. This is the foil. He might actually die here. It's going to be really close.
Yeah, the stun follow-up and the illusory orb, they do finally get a kill onto Amar, so that's exactly what they wanted with that follow-up. But while that's going on, there's a wall up top, and Misha gets the kill on a mind control. Back over bottom, they're looking over. Miracle sitting a little bit low, but he is tethered up. BZM, we'll see if he can get anything out of it, or if he gets played with the help of Sumail. They've got the silence with the waning rift and the damage for the Astral Step. One more right click. Sumail wants a high 5, but instead they'll just give him another 1+ on that death score.
Very clutch from Sumail, kind of predicting where BZM was going to try to escape from, and very big kills. I mean, these are 2 kills on 2 cores, you know, and this is the Leshrac being really happy, catching up with XP also. Big kills, big XP.
Yeah, and that's exactly, like, it bumps up their game. They were struggling a little bit on the side lane. Now you get a little bit of that pressure alleviated. Miracle hits level 7, and Sumail's still down here. They kind of want to just shut down Amar, and that's almost a double-edged sword. How much can you focus on this bottom lane and just allow the rest of the lanes to kind of have their free will?
Even Misha rotated here too, so, you know, OG is trying to kind of, this is like the pressure building up on the bottom lane, and Both teams are kind of looking at it, and rightly so. So I like that the G supports are trying to stop that.
Now the Hex, but the relocate out. Easy does it. Miracle and GH do escape.
Pretty early relocate. You know, Sumail is looking at it. He has a foil. He's going to check the run before. He might be in trouble here.
Dream Coil comes out into BZM, and let's see if he can get out of this one when the Dream Coil finishes. But he never gets that chance. So Sumail with another kill. He's on a killing spree.
Plus an Arcane Rune from the top. So, you know, Sumail is starting to pop off here. Something to watch out for.
Very timid in the first 5-6 minutes or so, but Sumail found that opportunity, and he's rolled with it. They're starting to snowball, which could be dangerous for OG. They bring over Yuragi and maybe looking to get Miracle with the help of Taiga.
Yeah, he might die. He's gonna die.
Hex or Spike should follow it up, and that's an easy kill. Miracle kind of in his own area of the map at the moment, and that's what gets him caught. He's on the side of the OG as Sumail gets another one. He's now dominating, taking out Misha.
GH is actually pretty big this game. I mean, I feel like he's having a pretty good game. He's pretty happy. He's gonna have mech only like 500 gold, so you know, one or more pushes, and then he gets the mech. And I mean, this game for Nigma, it's all about this IO plus Leshrac. It's really all about how they're gonna hit their timings and how they're gonna be able to kind of accelerate their game, because this is where the damage is gonna come from for Nigma, and they're gonna need a lot of damage to take down, you know, OG's course.
Yeah, they've done a good job of getting, say, BZM as well as Amar in some time. But now, look at this. Nyx Assassin in trouble. The follow-up Hex. BZM, he gets a kill. Finally gets himself, you know, a +1 there as he's had a couple of deaths in between. So they do get that kill on the Nyx. You're starting to see this lone Druid really start to get involved, too. And he had a great lane. Like, the net worth split between him and anybody else is pretty significant this early on into the game.
Yeah,
pressure was on the rest.
He's living the life, and this is when the map might look a little bit weird for OG, because, you know, MC just took top power, you know, quietly, and you see Miracle kind of staying here. He's not maximizing his own farm. He decides he'd rather defend his own safety and power and keep the map kind of disadvantages for OG, which I think is the best way to play the game at this very moment. And this is like the mark of the most experienced players that are gonna, you know, like kind of favor pressure over greediness, which at this level is definitely the way to go. MC here, he might die. Yeah, too much damage in this buck.
Yeah, they're going up towards top. They want to get this kill on the mind control while Misha goes down. So Sumail with another one. Then Taiga falls to Miracle. So you've got the relocate that was over there towards top to get that follow-up. Ends up being a trade there, a kill over bottom. So a couple of kills across the map with the side of Nigma. Well, that's just an impale. There's nothing that's going to happen. I don't think all of a sudden you've got a Nyx Assassin that's going to hit enough or hard enough to kill off that Timber.
I'm quite worried about Misha. He is level 4 on Edge, so he is extremely under-leveled right now, and he's playing versus this lineup that's just gonna eat him alive all the time, right? The Leshracs, the Seer, the Fox. Fox is having such a good game too. He basically solo kills him with 2 spells right now, so, you know, OG is gonna play 4 versus 5 for a while, it feels like. You know, this Ench is gonna be a non-factor, unfortunately for him.
Does Ench really even feel like he fits in at some point? Like, the untouchable really, you've got Leshrac on the other side. Is it really enough for Misha to make anything happen?
He had a better game, maybe, but given the state of his game, I think it's gonna be quite painful.
Are looking over mid, he'll TP in.
And here we're gonna get to see, you know, how much damage do they have? You know, can they cut through the Timber yet or not? Obviously, the damage is gonna keep scaling. You know, Leshrac getting items, the Yash, the Kayas, and these kind of items are gonna help that. But this is probably the moment where Timber is kind of hard to touch, you know, the bracers, the magic wand, the hood. And this is when maybe Nigma is going to look to kind of, you know, accelerate their farm rather than trying to pressure, because it might be a little bit too early. Mind Control is also going for the Vessel, which I think is a really, really smart buy, and it's going to help them kind of kill the Timber, which is going to be the meat shield that they're going to have to get through if they want to truly pressure OG.
You can get through that big metal body that Amar's got on this Timber, then do the rest. Right now they do get that mid-tier 1, and that's usually a telltale sign of something going right for you when you get the top and mid. They find themselves the impale. They'll follow it up with the stun coming out from Miracle, soaking up a lot of that damage. Spike Carapace, that all of a sudden Taiga, they throw the chakra down, they've got the Simile as BZM goes behind them and gets the kill to Kuroki, so they end up losing the Nyx Assassin. The Dream Coil, it's placed down onto a couple, but it doesn't really matter. That's more an escape cord than anything.
And you see it, right? It's too early still to kill the Timber. They don't have the Vessel. Leshrac, you know, probably wants a little bit more levels. Maybe he wants the Kaya Sange. I'm not really sure which items are gonna allow them to go through the Timber. I think that's maybe a little bit of the worrying part for Nigma right now. But you know, I'm sure they have a very solid plan, and we're gonna be eventually we're gonna see it.
That wasn't exactly a heavy commitment either. You know,
No.
they kind of dip their toe into the water. They see, all right, we don't have the damage. We end up losing KuroKy. That's fine. That Dream Coil makes sure it protects us on the way out. We don't lose big numbers because that fight does go the other way and OG starts to take 2, 3, 4 heroes. They can snowball out of control too and all of a sudden turn this around where Nigma kind of missed this timing that they want.
Especially with the build that the Laundry is going for. He's going for Deso, Mask of Madness, so you know he's like an objective taker. Like cars are gonna melt, Roche can melt also. So definitely every pickoff that OG will get, like in the in the upcoming minutes, is gonna always transition into an objective.
So we'll see which team strikes next and who's going to end up getting that first Roche. Spike Carapace was there for a moment. I have loved to see these players use this Wild Wing. There are some players who are just so good at like those movements, especially over in Triangle when they're able to get up and down cliffs or move heroes around, move themselves around. Like it really is just 4-staff light.
Okay, he might live here. Yeah.
Stun, not in time.
Very good use of the Hex.
Yeah.
Nice CP out. I mean, I would say that, Nigma's answer to... Is he gonna try a nice Carapace? Nigma's answer to Timber, you can already kind of... Oh, this might be dangerous. But okay, I mean, there's no follow-up. He's just trying to protect the Nyx. And it's worth it, it's worth it. I was just gonna say that Nigma's answer to Timber, you kind of feel already. It's quite... it's not often that you see Amar being so low in the net worth as Timber. He usually, rocking #1 spot. He's taking the enemy's jungle already. He feels scared compared to other games, right? Where he feels like he can actually die pretty easily.
Dire's bottom
and he still showed how tanky he was. Like if he's got that feeling that I can still die pretty quickly, but I was tanky in that last fight. Certainly something that Nigma's doing right to make him feel that way and maybe abuse that to go towards the rest, right? Because Mind Control, he does have the Spirit Vessel, doesn't have any charges. So you got to fill it up somehow and make sure then you can kind of use it, because right now it's wasted net worth.
There's a lot of eggs in the laundry basket for OG. It feels like both Void Spirit and Timber are not scaling as well as they would want to. No TP this time for Taiga.
Yeah, but they've got the help with the Aether Remnant. So he's able to survive once again. He is really playing on the edge.
He's deciding to kind of get info instead of farming the blink, which I could agree with. I feel like it's quite scary when you think about it, because we don't probably feel it in the game, but it's nighttime. You don't have the best vision. There's a Nyx that's always lurking, the threat of the relocate, the threat of the coil, and these cores, they want a little bit more time. The Timber who wants to farm up, the Laundry wants that too. That's why you see the supports of OG trying to get info. Of course they put themselves at risk, and it looks quite quite scary for them, but they're kind of trying to tank the bullet that they don't want their core to.
And then on top of that, every time you as support get that information and don't die, it just feels like you can keep it that much closer, right? Like you're not giving anything away for this. Like, it's free info.
Yeah. And this is probably one of the big core specs. Yeah, the big buck already.
BZM maybe in a little bit of trouble. They've got themselves the Yule, but there's follow-up stun coming out from KuroKy. So Sumail will get yet another kill, and he's unstoppable. BZM, he's middle of the pack right now, but the silver lining is still, like you said, the eggs in the basket of Lone Druid.
I mean, he decided to go for the Yules. I get it. It's probably quite important versus the Puck and that amount of damage. The problem is that it kind of sets up for the Nyx and the Lesh follow-up stun, especially when he's caught off guard at that. I mean, that's going to be
Misha,
so poor.
Double stun and an easy kill, just like you said. Miracle getting another one. And Nigma are finding their moments. They're finding their pickoffs. Is this enough at the moment? Do they need to start taking objectives, take some towers with these openings that they're making for themselves?
I think they're happy scaling, honestly. I don't think they need to pressure themselves into anything. Like, this Buck is super happy, this Lash is super happy. I mean, they definitely hit a really strong timing right now. They have the Vessel, he doesn't have charges yet, but they become the Puck. The map is kind of theirs to pressure. It's more on OG's side, what are they waiting for? What are the timings, the items that they're looking at that they want to fight back? I feel like the Laundry is very, very strong. He has like an overwhelming amount of physical damage. He can take down the Leshrac in one stun right now, so maybe we'll see it happen soon. I feel like both teams right now are looking at, kind of speeding up the pace at which they're playing.
See KuroKy get spotted by the Sentry Ward, but he picked up enough information in that little walk over, showing that all the heroes of OG were pretty much there.
Nigma's so aggressive. aggressive. How they position
Radiant's
themselves around the
bottom
map. Like you
tower
see,
is
you know,
under attack.
Mind Control's pushing out the top lane constantly with shields. They're already taking enemy triangle and ancient. Like the map, it feels really small for OG already. It feels like they're kind of only safe in their own jungle, even though the game is not that one-sided.
No,
but it's just Nigma's decision making on how well, like where they position themselves on the map. They put so much pressure on their opponent.
Step away. And not gonna jaunt over, but they're still sending Miracle forward.
My sprites are
Geared up on the run, Chakram hitting on a Kuroki. Pulls him into the air, and they've got themselves the Aether Remnant. They've dropped down the Dream Coil, the stun comes through, that's gonna let into Amar, but they've got the finger to get the kill on a Kuroki, so they'll at least get themselves one on the side of OG. They stun out Miracle and hook it, the damage just come out of this Leshrac. Sumail's not gonna be next yet, it's actually Taiga. He tries to leave, but the Aether Remnant's down, and so is the wall, but the wall is not something that OG are running into at this moment. They take out 3 on the side of Nigma.
Amazing. That was super clutch, and then they get the
And they
free
get
on
the
Wisp.
free
I
+1.
mean, they could even go Roche here. I want to praise the Deso, you know, purchase on the Laundry. It did everything. You saw how quickly the Slash died. It's crazy. He got one-shotted by the Laundry, and he was being tethered by a Wisp, right?
Yeah.
It was still not enough. Unfortunately, the Wisp had to use the mech for the Nyx, meaning they didn't get the double mech value on the Lash, but could have turned things with the the vacuum from the Darcer coming in.
Radiant's
So, you know, maybe a little bit of a mistake from GH to try to save the Nyx. Yeah, they're gonna try to stop that. They need to stop that Roche, it feels. They might be able to be honest. OG's running low on resources.
Actually left that Roche pretty low.
Now the question is, can Nigma take it for themselves? It could be possible. They do have a lot of magic damage, and they're gonna try to. This is pretty clutch. Now it's a big moment for OG. You can test it. It's quite risky. You don't have the Laundry ulti. It looks like they're gonna let it go. I think it's the right call, but it cost them a lot.
Roshan and
Let's
Orange
use that.
Siege is into the hands of Miracle now. And potentially, like you were saying, some aggression from Nigma if they can get this. Got the Dream Coil, there's the vacuum. It's only Misha so far. The Astral Step, they've got the taunt. It's onto the Leshrac. They're gonna look to take this Aegis out, but with that tether, with that heal, he survives. Kuroki hit by the Chakram for a second, geared up once again. And just that burst of damage coming out from OG once again. It's, wow. Runs into the Aether Remnant. Now they catch BCM, but the damage is just not enough yet. There's an Earth Spike out of the Leshrac, but they still have GH. He's surviving for now. The Chakram's there. It pops the Aegis. They've dropped on the wall. Amar timber chaining across, gets the kill on a GH. So now you no longer have the tether option. They've got the silence onto Misha. Misha trying to survive, and Sumail ends up dead. Amar doing so much damage in this fight, especially with the help of Taiga. These Earth Spikes have been on the money, and they're still looking to get a kill here onto this Dark Seer. Mind Control will run, but Amar can timber chain and chase.
That's kind of the problem. He's gonna get him
Yeah,
so
huge
much
kill.
damage. That's the Kaya Sange, you know, coming in clutch for you. Spellamp on the level 15 plus the Kaya Sange.
They have Miracle here. They've got 3 heroes, and the Bear looking to do the damage, and he's gone.
Holy man, that damage.
Whoa.
It is so much damage. Even the Flasher, Mom, and the Deso. I mean, you saw like the beginning of the fight, it's all about the tether mech. Like, Nigma really need to try to force themselves and discipline themselves to play around it. Because else right now, this Leshrac, he doesn't stand a chance. He just dies right away. And you see the strength of Laundry. And what is their play really? They're trying to turn on the Bear. They tried at some point, but they just don't have enough damage. Kill the Bear. It feels bad. You know, you're throwing your spells on the Bear and then you're dying process, and then he just resummons it. So they need to find like a better way to take these fights.
So far, you know, it feels like OG and the 5v5s have been doing well. You get a kill on a Taiga, but Nigma kind of need more. A lot of these kills have been on supports.
Radiant's
It's
bottom
gonna be about
tower is
how
under
Miracle is
attack.
gonna itemize. He decided to go for the plate mail, which I mean I can only agree with. He's definitely dying to like an overwhelming amount of physical damage, so that's gonna help. You know, the analysts, like the panel, they talked about the axe build on Leshrac. It could be something he could look at. It's gonna prevent the Bear from hitting. That could be interesting. But you know, now we're getting into the territory where Timber and Void Spirit, they're picking up some steam. They're gonna start becoming a problem too and dishing out the damage.
Miracle might be in trouble again. They land the Aether Remnant. A couple of infinite shots coming his way. They use the Yules on a GH. See the right click damage coming up from the Bear once again, but he lands the stun. It's onto the Bear. That might save his life. Impetus damage, it tickles. It doesn't do a lot. So Miracle is able to fall back, and he's also got reinforcements if they want to just maybe clear up some vision and go. By doing so, it does show that they're all there under that ward. So OG, they're not letting this opportunity go. They want to take it to Nigma. That's exactly what they're going to do by getting this kill on a Kuroki, and the rest of the team will fall back towards the tier 2 and into the trees.
It is so much damage. It's quite crazy. Okay, Nigma smoked up. They want to contest that. Without the Nyx, this could really catch OG by surprise. You don't expect an aggressive play 4 versus 5. Let's see what they do with that. Looks like they want to bait behind Miracle. It's a really hard move to predict right now. You know, usually most teams will kind of take a defensive position after losing a hero and giving up the ground.
He's hitting just the Lion. Would that be worth it? If they can get Yuragi, this would be worth it.
He has no ulti.
Got the Dream Coil. They're not following this up just yet, but there's the BKB as well as the vacuum in the wall. That's going to do it. Here comes Amar. Amar trying to make something happen. That will go with Sumail. He's going to go into the phase shift as well as the Illusory Orb back towards Yuragi. But BCN's trying to stay on the tail of this pop. The damage just not enough to get the kill on Yuragi just yet. They get the kill on Miracle and take out mind control. Sumail falls too. 3 heroes got GH trying to TP, but there's the impetus last shot. 4 heroes out of the side of Nigma. They took that fight and they paid for it deeply.
Such an amazing side steps, you know, like jukes from Yuragi. That was awesome. And also the patience. You know, he got the shard on the Lone Druid with the spells. So, you know, the Spirit Vessel was applied to him. And Lone Druid is all about the healing mechanism. He got healed so much by his bear. So Spirit Vessel is really instrumental to try to take him down and make sure he doesn't survive through your spells and your right clicks. But then he just presses Savage Roar and dispels himself from the Spirit Vessel and he just lives.
Yeah, he sidestepped in this like little area by the stairs, and he's avoiding like not only Sumail but multiple other heroes coming at him from Nigma, and they just picked him off one by one. Like OG has just played around this pressure really well.
Radiant's middle
I mean,
tower
Yuragi's
is
playing so
under
well,
attack.
honestly. Like, this is like such a flawless game for him so far. You know, he's 5-0 and 11. He's joined fights really early. He's really helped stabilize the game when the Timber was suffering a little bit. So did the Void Spirit. So pretty impressive showing for him so far.
Yeah, Deathless and doing damage. Not exactly
Radiant's top tower
too far
is
out of the
under
woods
attack.
just yet. It's a 4K lead, still pretty close, but Nigma have kind
Radiant's
of
top tower
missed
is
that timing that they initially wanted, and now they've kind of got to get to the next one, right? And they're going to try and do so, but with the fight up top, they may not have the chance. Sumail, he's hexed up. CF comes in. Astra sent the damage on it. It's Sumail, and he just can't survive. Here they go with a finger on a Miracle, and they'll wipe the floor with Leshrac too. They want to go and get everybody. They look towards GH. They look towards Kuroki with the BKB pop by mind control. They've got the Banshee, so they keep mind control close. And GH, well, Amar's going to keep him even closer and get the kill and take out mind control. It is just, when it rains, it pours, because it is pouring bodies as they hit the floor for Nigma.
I mean, it seems like they cannot deal with the Lone Druid whatsoever.
At all.
Just too much. Like the roars, the savage roars, constantly, you know, kind of splitting this lineup apart. This lineup, they want to run at you with, you know, and also like the MS, it gets amplified. Like, I mean, it turns against you, right? If you're really fast here and you get roared, suddenly you're so far from the fight, it takes so long for you to get back in the fight. So the Leshrac, it breaks the tether, even the Darcy that is Surge, you know, half of the time. Obviously, if the Puck ever gets feared, then he just dies. This Lone Druid, you see how potent it is and how much impact it's had. It feels like they just can't fight into it.
And like you said, he got involved early. And it was when he came over mid for that fight, and he's been with the team pretty much ever since.
Yeah.
We're close enough where he can react.
Dire's current
He's been
has
involved in
killed.
almost 20 kills, over 26. He's been more involved than the Void Spirit has been, the solo mid, you know. He's the one with the most kill participation from position 1, which is
Dire
honestly
are scanning.
not frequent at all. Like, you rarely see that. So, I mean, it worked really well. And now we're at a stage where it's just really hard for Nigma because none of their heroes can really frontline. Sure, the Dark Shield does with BKB, but how much does it do realistically? The Leshrac is a little bit too weak, as we've seen. He just dies when he runs in. So it's a tough game to play right now. They do have tools to play the map. You know, they can like try to shove the waves, the side lanes, play it with the relocate and the threat of Nyx. But I think like 5-on-5 right now is just not realistic for Nigma. They just don't have the firepower.
which could put them down in an even bigger hill, right? Like, if you can't fight 5v5, you've got Roche potentially coming up soon, and that's a big objective to get. But if you don't have the confidence to play 5v5, how do you even contest that?
I think you have to give it away. It's too scary right now, you know. Or I mean, the one thing that they have going for them maybe is the Darkseer. It's always a hero that can turn games, especially when you have AoE follow-up. You know, like a really clutch vacuum into a 3-man impale, these kind of things, and then maybe you can. You know, this Druid, he has to die before he gets to click ulti. Like, that is so important. And they have tools, they have stuns, they have silences. I mean, he has BKB now on the bear, not on the main hero. As he ultis already preemptively. I mean, that's the problem too, right? Druid on level 20, he hits this huge bar spike, minus 50 seconds on true form. So you can't really play as much around his ulti. It feels like it's always up. And, you know, this is danger zone. You know, during the little downtime that it's gonna be, whether it is 10 or 15 seconds, you have to try to kill him. Burst him before he gets his ulti off. A little bit like an Alchemist, but even more intense.
I was gonna say it was kind of similar to what we were seeing with the Tempest double on the Arc Warden.
Exactly. Enigma, they need to abuse the downtimes. You know, they have to seize the moment and be like, alright, once you're down, we need to burst him before. And he's actually gonna die really quickly. I mean, the main hero, when he's not in true form, he has 0 stats item. You know, he will die. They have enough damage to take him.
And I think maybe one of the benefits here for Enigma is the fact that Roche is 2 minutes away, so maybe gives them some time to find an arsenal to go after that Roche if they feel the need to contest it. Like you said, it's going to be difficult. They may just concede it, but at the moment, they want to fight.
Yeah, Miracle got his BKB, so maybe they feel a little bit better about running in. He's not going to get roared or anything like that. They're low ground though, so it's a bit scary.
Yeah, smoke on smoke, and well, BZM, while his smoke gets broken, kind of understands, hey, there's a Nyx assassin here. The rest of the team, though, it still looks like they even want to make that jump, kind of getting an understanding of where Enigma must be, right?
That was really close. BZM, you can feel like he really wants to fight. Like OG right now, I mean, both teams kind of want to fight.
Oh, there it is. Jump. Blink Hex with the Earth Spike, drain the mana, throw the finger, and you've got to chalk him with the Aether Remnant. BZM, he's now on a killing spree. It's that Blink Dagger is so crucial to these lines, and you see why. The instant Hex is so strong.
Yeah, that's the Hex against Nyx, right? It's like one of the best way to deal with them, because, you know, you start with an Impale, he might get the carapace off, and all of a sudden the fight is just different. You Hex him, it's just safe. Nyx will die against these Hex. But you're always gonna see team prioritizing the Shadow Shaman, the Lion, you know, these kind of heroes against Nyx.
They're waiting to see if Roche is up, but still has 50 seconds to go. While this is going on, Sumail is trying to get into the E-Blade. Kind of far from that. And Miracle, he wants that shard, which in a Roche fight, in that scenario, could be pretty important.
It would really be, and you know, MC is looking to buy a Blink. He's got it now if he wants to, and I feel like this could be maybe one of the saving graces for Enigma if they really, you know, I mean, they're a team, they're really used to playing with each other. I'm sure they're a team that can, you know, pull off like a crazy wombo combo with the vacuum.
Oh, Sumail getting caught. I don't know if he survives this one. They've got the silence to pop the link in, so go to the phase shift and then you lose your orb out.
That was
for an Earth Spike, but
on Void Spirit, you know, he tried to surprise him with it. Unfortunately, not enough damage. Pretty tanky puck with the Linkens. But yeah, I mean, right now, Enigma, they have to be looking for Darkseer combos. I think that's the only way where a fight can look good for them. Or they try to delay the game, as Sumail was trying to do. Push out the side lanes, force OG to split up. Obviously, it is scary. They have pretty good catch in the Lion and the Void Spirit. But it is what it is. That is what the state of the game dictates right now.
While they're going by, while they're trying to get that kill on Sumail, like, they're still farming the enemy's triangle, they're still farming so much of the map, like, they're just not giving anything to Enigma.
They're getting Roche, they're farming top, they're defending bottom. It's I mean, it's a bad situation for them to be in. At the same time, I mean, I was gonna say they have a pretty good high ground defense, which, I mean, they do. You know, the Darkseer is always crazy high ground defense. But yet again, it's gonna be this Seer just like taking down towers, despair. Like I don't even know if they can poke the bear well enough, because he's gonna demolish the towers. Like, it's gonna be really quick.
1,000 health. Deso ready to go. The Basher, Mask of Madness, like, he's hitting fast, has the extra buff up with that Hyperstone. I don't know how you kill the bear, and even if you do, like you said, they've been using so many spells on the bear. Then what? He still
that troubles. A lot of troubles.
That's where Amar just kind of peeks his head in. He's like, all right, I'm ready.
He had so much space, right, in the fight. Like, you always see him kind of coming later and
get like Miracle.
He just keeps up, right? Yeah.
It's crazy how, like, this is exactly what the panel said. even when you shut down Amar. Did you do it?
No, I mean he's had so much impact now. Like he's done so much damage in these fights. He's scaling really well. You know, you see it with the net worth. Like he now has a BKB, so he really doesn't care about anything that they could throw at him. And it's gonna keep getting worse, right? I mean, this Timber, it keeps scaling the damage, it keeps scaling up. I mean, I like how Nigma's trying to pressure. I mean, this is good, you know, good pickoff.
Yeah.
What they're trying to do right now is they're trying to force OG away from their own triangle, like Nigma's triangle, or, you know, force OG away from pushing their base, which this is what they should be doing. Right now, OG, they want to create a situation where they're gonna knock at the door of Nigma's base and start, you know, looking at the bear taking down the towers. So Nigma, they need to delay that for as long as possible.
Interesting move here by Sumail. He did have Croaky nearby, but, you know, he's still a slippy hero. They didn't have the Lion there, obviously because he's dead at the moment, so they don't have that instant Hex to work off of.
He's hard to catch. He's hard to catch. Already hard to catch. Now with the Lincolns on top of it too, almost impossible. I think he got the shot also on Miracle, so the high ground is maybe that's the way to deal with the bear. Actually, if you freeze stun the ground and then the bear, you don't really want to use BKB to just, like, you know,
hit the base,
get extra hits on the base. It feels bad. So maybe that's one way that they have to delay the game, having the puck cutting the waves everywhere, having the Leshrac stun, buzz the darts here, try to delay the high ground push as much as they can, and you know, OG, they've had enough. They want to end the game.
Going into the true form and looking to go, and there you found the Aether on a Miracle. They're going to try and make the jump. They've got the silence out of a bunch with the vacuum as well as the wall. Normal punch hits on a Taiga, but it's not going to beat up as the Aeon just pops. And then finally, after it goes away, they get the kill to the line, so they'll take him out of the fight. The Hex is gone. They'll look over at Amar. Amar taking a lot of damage. Silence up, stunned up, killed off. Down he goes. Miracle's got himself a double kill. Now looking over the Aegis on BZM. They have the follow-up stun. Can they go for the rest after this? On stun over a stun, of course, they've gotten the lockdown. They get BZM, they'll look for more. Yuragi looking to TP out. Misha not so fortunate, at least not yet. He'll try to TP, and the stun from Miracle not in time. But that is a successful high ground defense. They don't even lose the tier 3 there for Nigma.
It's more than successful. That was amazing for Nigma. I think they could not expect better. This is really huge. It's a big spike, and they have a lot of pushing power themselves now with the Leshrac and the overcharge and the Edict. They can threaten, you know, I don't know if they're going to be able to force buybacks, but they can definitely look at getting the tier 2 mid and establish vision for themselves. And you see how scary the high ground is, you know. It's maybe hard to grasp how much it did, but these Leshrac stuns, you know, like chain stunning all these heroes. I think Amar, you know, between the Nyx Carapace and the Leshrac, the Split Earth, he didn't even get to press BKB. I don't think he even had like 0.1 second to press it. No. To get chain stun completely. And I think like that's maybe a mistake from OG to, because Leshrac, he has to pre-set, like prepare these stuns in advance, right? He has to land a couple and they need to keep, you know, proccing. But since OG did not take the tier 2 bottom, they can't just decide to be like, all right, you know, just like Venom, you set up the mid defense, we're just going to bottom. But since the tier 2 is still up, they kind of have to bang their head against the wall and fight into the splitters that were preset. I think they probably need to look at pushing another lane, basically, when Nigma is so ready.
And Nigma now very ready. They were just down 10k. Where'd it go? Like it's gone in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Over the Nyx Assassin, Spike Carapace, but they've got the follow-up here with the stun from this Lion. Roki, though, he gets away for a second until the finger comes. The stun hits on Omar, but they've got no follow-up damage for that.
That's a gem on the ground, so it's a pretty big deal.
That'll mean Kuroki is way more visible and way less effective, that's for sure. Which is big, because we've seen the areas of the map that Kuroki's kind of putting himself in. You know, for the longest time when OG were looking to push, he was behind them, maybe looking for an opportunity to snipe a courier that's got an item on it, maybe, you know, disrupt them from backing off. They play aggressive on Nigma, and they've still got 20 seconds without this Nyx Assassin, but now they also have to make sure that they can get the gem out of the hands of BZM.
And we're gonna get into territory where Puck is gonna start becoming a menace. I feel like, you know, late game Puck can get really scary. He starts dishing out a lot of damage. The items that he's getting, I mean, you know, he went for defensive item, the Lincolns, but now he got the E-Blade, much more damage. Probably gonna be looking at, you know, upgrading the Witchblade, or maybe getting, you know, Dagons or whatever he fancies. Even the Stormcrafter that he has, that's also extra damage coming up. So, you know, Leshrac, they're starting to pick up some steam. You know, whether it's going to be enough to take down the OG cores, I still don't know, but it you know, it's good news for Nigma fans. Like, it's getting better and better.
Yeah, and he's going to hit that level 25 too, and how important that Dream Coil talent
Yeah,
be
it
for
will
that.
be. It will be big. It will be very big. You know, I think even the next, I mean, Kuroki is rocking 3k gold. He could decide to make the fight even more obnoxious, you know, like Nyx Axe, for instance. You know, on top of all this, it's gonna get scary for OG to push into all of that.
You're going to have to hope that maybe Nigma, when they get those items, find themselves a little bit too far from base and kill them.
You're completely wrong.
Could be right now. Could be right now. You know, OG smoking, they seem to know where Nigma's standing. Nothing set up already. Might be a big jump.
They're going to try and go. They've got the extra step as well as the silence coming in thanks to the Ags of this Void Spirit. Jumping and going for GH. That's where the focus is. And immediately, without that IO, you need to try and run. But Miracle gets hit by the stun. A big factory wall coming through. They did get the kill to Miracle, but is the damage there for Nigma to try and salvage this? They've already lost 3 heroes. They're going to go for more. They'll look and find Sumail, but he goes to the phase shift, still surviving. The sun hits on a Tiger. They finally get a kill here onto the Lion. Aether Remnant doesn't land. Miracle thinking, are they going to keep coming? And they'll back off into the wall. But Miracle, he's going in. He wants to fight. So does this bear, though. The sun comes out of the lone Druid. Miracle's just dead. He just fought back 105 seconds on the sidelines. They do get themselves the Dark Seer by control as well, but he's got buyback, and that's going to be used immediately. Infinite shots through Kuroki. He's dying. He's gone. No buyback as well. GH back into the fight, but just as quickly as you got back, you're gone again. They did exactly what we just talked about. They found themselves too far out of the base. A high ground defense that looks so successful. Well, why leave it?
I mean, this bear's damage, I can't believe it's doing so much damage. I mean, I understand he's fat, but this is like, it's too much. He's just cutting through the Leshrac in 1 second. It's a Leshrac feather that has Shivas also.
Miracle did jump right onto the bear that second time too, and you just see how strong it can be. They're going to try and defend here, but
Right here.
I mean, Taiga's finger power is at 7, so he's just doing so much damage. They get another kill on a mind control, and this is looking like it's going to be all they erode for Nigma in this first game. OG just got to wait for this clip to go. They'll go after the throne, and that is it. It is OG taking game 1. It will